Two students were walking through the high school hallways to their 5th period class. It was the first week of the new school year, and they were now seniors. So they were talking about what they wanted to do when they graduated. They were also discussing about a cruel teacher who takes his teaching job really serious, and he sometimes forced the teens to do their work. His name is Gibson Thomas Weenie, aka Mr. Weenie. The boys also teased him and laughed at him because his last name. The students were talking about how they hate him, but enjoy laughing at him. They were planning to switch out to another class, but they wanted to see if Mr. Weenie was calmer since the summer break went by. They got to the classroom bracing themselves for what's to come. The students walked inside, only to find the classroom empty. The classroom was clean and organized, but there wasn't any other students in sight. Neither were there any backpacks. Thinking they just arrived too early, they walked into the classroom and took a seat at their desk and decided to wait a little for other students to arrive. 5 minutes later, the bell rung and no one still came into the classroom. As time passed, the kids were getting bored and began to wonder what was going on. 5 minutes later, the two students got frustrated and decided to text their friends and play games on their iPhones. After a minute, one of the students looks up to see a man at the front of the classroom facing them. The shocked friend nudges his buddy, telling him to look, and he does, and was weirded out by the looks of the person standing facing them. He had no face. He looked like Slender Man from those Creepypasta stories, but he had a different type of business suit. It was blue, and his tie was yellow. There was a name tag on the left side. One of the boys looks a bit closely. To his shock, it read Mr. Weenie. Mr. Weenie? What will we be learning today? One of the kids asked nervously, raising his shaky hand. The man takes out a red and black marker and draws on the board with his back to the two students. It took him about 4 minutes. When moved, the students were horrified to see a realistic drawing of two dead students in class. One on a desk and one on the floor, along with some blood all over them. The students' blood were running cold and they were getting scared by the minute. The teacher looks back at them. Then he yanks out a metal ruler and whispers a word in a cold, chilling, whispery voice. Class dismissed. The students get up and try to flee, but couldn't open the door. Knowing that there was nowhere to go, they slowly turn to see the faceless teacher holding the metal ruler. He grabs one of the kids' necks and pulls him away from the door. He snaps his neck, killing him instantly. He then lays him back first on the desk, slashing his throat with lots of blood flowing out. The teacher turns to the last student, fearing for his life. The kid begs him not to hurt him and to leave him alone, but the teacher kept coming to him slowly. As he reached him, he kneels down and whispers out the word again. Class dismissed. He aims the metal ruler straight at him. That was the last thing the student saw. At that moment, the teacher thrusts the ruler through his eye socket. The teacher grabs his shirt and lifts him up. He then thrusts the ruler through his heart. Blood squirted out all over the place and onto his faceless face. One of the security guards in the hallway heard screaming and ran straight to the room where it came from. His eyes went wide, seeing the room number. He goes inside the room, and to his surprise, the classroom was empty, clean and organized. He walks inside to investigate. The guard found nothing as he walked into the room. But then he spotted writing on the board. Written in blood red, it spelled out, "Class dismissed." According to the students and rumor, Mr. Weenie committed suicide during the summer vacation. They say he did it because he was miserable and sad because throughout his life he was teased because of his last name. They also say that he either jumped from the window and fell to his death or slit his throat inside the room before jumping out the window. Someone had went into the room to check on him and found he wasn't there. Then came across a trickle of blood by a window. They looked out to see Mr. Weenie laying face first on the concrete sidewalk below. When medics checked out his body, his face was gone. It seemed to be scraped off from the fall. Janitors had nailed wood boards over the whole classroom door to prevent anyone else from going in. However, the school is still open. According to the legend, people also say whoever goes in the classroom never comes back out, and whoever goes in there gets into the hands of the faceless teacher. They searched for the boys for about 2 months, but they were never seen again. Class dismissed.